You guys want to hear my impression of Jerry Seinfeld?
Right? Now, Old Knights of the Old Republic. It bugs me to no end that there's no. What if I'm just a relatively neutral guy? Like,
I mean,
Is
if
a
I
high
may, there's also a very heavy-handed metaphor throughout the film, and I don't know if I want to talk about it on the podcast because it's kind of not good.
And now here we are at the Red Dead Redemption 2 podcast. I'm going to do the beginning that I filmed 2 seconds ago that we're restarting now because Dan doesn't like my favorite video game.
So you're filming this?
yeah, we're filming.
I said film, but that's just because I ran out of words. Also, I'm drinking a 50% gin, 50% tonic, gin and tonic, which is
how
hitting.
you're supposed to? It's like a rum and coke. You're supposed to have 50-50, right?
Yeah, but there's...
speaking of drinking alcohol, you guys know what I did last night?
Drink alcohol?
Because it was Halloween?
Better. Not just... Sorry, I was putting my banjo down. Yeah, by the way, I bought a banjo. Kind of a big deal.
Hold on, guys. Let me just put my banjo down. I know, guys, I know you think I'm flexing, but I'm just putting my banjo down.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to explain why I was moving so far away from the microphone.
And why you can hear banjo noises.
But
everyone knows I was born and raised... Well, I mean, everyone knows I was born and raised in the mythical country that all my coworkers tell me I'm not from because it's not real, but Flexico. You only know it if you know it. You can't find it on the map if you're not from there.
True.
But Flexico and us Flexicans who grew up there, you know, not many know about us, but
Flexico.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we just constantly flex about like banjos and what I did last night and all that, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Sounds about right to me.
Thank you.
Tell us what you
Anyway,
did last night.
that joke's gone. I said it.
What happened last night?
I went and I watched a movie. Noah, you're probably familiar with this movie, right?
Maybe.
It's called The Evil Dead
Oh.
Trap 2.
No.
The Evil Dead Trap 2.
What?
It's called The Evil Dead Trap 2. So you know the...
I don't know what this is.
No, I've never heard about this in my life.
You know The Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
And you know The Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with them at all. This is a Japanese made movie that was straight to DVD.
That's amazing.
It's bad.
This is it looks really rough. Is that someone who's tied up in a net and then a zombie's gonna punch them in the butt? It's kind of what it looks like.
There was no zombies in the movie.
I'm sorry, a deadite?
Nope. There was maybe a serial killer, maybe a ghost, maybe 3 serial killers or more, a couple knife fights, but with box cutters.
Okay.
That's it. Maybe.
I don't know how to feel about that at all.
I love how underground this is to the point where it's like it's a film from 92 and the cast isn't even filled in fully. Only one of these people seems to have actually done anything outside of this.
Yeah, no, it basically doesn't exist as a movie.
Oh no, never mind. I think this guy's done acting, so much acting.
Oh no.
He's clearly a big name in Japan.
Is it the guy?
Kurahashi?
There's one male character in the movie, I think.
Then yes, that's him.
Yeah, no, he's honestly like he's pretty fine. He's pretty cool. He was doing his thing. But like the main girl maybe was the main girl. I don't know. She ran a projector at a film movie place. That's all I know. I know that one for sure. I know that she was a projectionist.
That means she looks
This
at her
person's
problems and
done
then decides
porn.
they're somebody else's fault.
And then her friend was a reporter, and her friend was reporting on murder cases that maybe the main girl did. I don't know. Maybe the friend did them. I don't know. Maybe the friend's boyfriend kind of character did them. Again, I cannot stress this enough. I don't know.
So, did it have subtitles?
No, yes. It was fully in Japanese, had subtitles though. There was no plot.
Okay.
Maybe the friend's boyfriend character was married. I don't know. Did he have a kid? Again, maybe? Did he have sex with the projectionist girl? I'm pretty sure that happened.
I gotta be honest, if you're not even sure of that, I'm very concerned.
Yeah, no, I know.
So on IMDb, there's 6 movies that it's like more like this.
Don't watch them.
And it's Evil Dead Trap 1, The Brutal Insanity of Love, Man with a Gun,
Okay.
Gatling Gun. That one looks like a classic Western. That one looks like kind of fun. But Man with a Gun, I don't know what it is.
Great title.
An assassin who's hired to kill the woman he loves. But then there's a Megadeth live countdown, or not countdown, a live concert, and Body Weapon.
That is cursed.
The 6 main food groups.
Ooh, there you go.
Tag yourself. I'm Body Weapon.
So the good news, Dan, Man with a Gun is included free with Prime, so you can watch it.
Man with a Gun.
But you've never seen Man with a Gun?
No,
No.
Wait, for real? Yikes.
I've never heard of it.
No, don't you have like a movie podcast? Oh, yikes.
Oof.
And you
That's kinda
haven't
cringe,
seen
bro.
Man with a Gun? What's next? You haven't seen The Evil Dead Trap 3?
Please tell me
there's
that
actually a
doesn't
third
exist.
I
one.
have no idea, and I would never watch it.
Damn it.
Because like it's one
Damn
of those
it.
like sometimes you watch a movie that's like so bad it's funny. The Evil Dead Trap
This
2
is just
was
so
not.
bad it's bad.
It just wasn't good. Like it just wasn't good because like it clearly
Yeah.
wanted to be an art film. Like it really wanted to be an art film,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't know how to make an art film. And instead they were just like, what if we just don't tell people anything? That's artsy. And you're like, no, that's actually just confusing at that point.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. There's a person here who dropped this 10-star review.
to make it an art film, it first has to be a film.
This guy seems to think it's an art film.
What?
There's a fight scene between the two female leads
Yep.
with the white curtains providing wonderful contrast to the bloodshed. I can't think of a comparable genre
they
in my
provide?
country to explain this. It is it is no mean feat to successfully inject a psycho killer gore viewer with the feeling that he or she just experienced some wonderful violent art film.
Thanks, I hate it.
There's other
Whoever-
big words here.
Whoever left that review
Thanks,
was
I
dumb.
hate it.
That's my final answer. I watched it. There was a fight scene between the two main female characters, and they had box cutters and they were maybe stabbing each other, but then they were also like soaked in blood
Uh-huh.
from like head to toe, and neither of them were really like bleeding. They were just covered in blood.
I just
That's
Yeah.
rough.
There's also a very heavy-handed metaphor throughout the film, and I don't know if I want to talk about it on the podcast because it's kind of not good.
Oh, no.
It's basically, and I don't know. We'll discuss after I say what you guys think. The entire movie is basically like, hey, you get an abortion, you're creating a child ghost.
Dude, I was literally about to ask if the theme was abortion because
Yep.
you said there's a heavy-handed theme throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of this film I saw, or not film, this movie I saw called Red Christmas. And that was its whole thing too.
Yeah, it
A
was.
crazy mutant person came in and he was like a botched abortion.
Yep,
turned
and
into
that's
a
what the
monster
movie
killer.
was basically. Every single character in the movie, maybe
Mhm.
even the guy, had an abortion, and that was like a driving trait. Like everyone, like random, like it's to the point where at the beginning of the movie, the one girl Aki, the main character, kind of, is like walking out of her job at the movie theater, and her boss is like, "Hey, Aki, how are you? Have you had an abortion lately?"
Lately?
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's not a thing you ask people, or what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's not great.
And
to
I was
be
like, that
honest.
was like a weird statement. And so like at first I was like, maybe it's like a translation error, or maybe it's like a saying that doesn't translate well. You know, it was kind of like was able to kind of dismiss it a little bit. It came back up like 40 times, and I was like, oh,
Good lord.
I hate it so much. I hate everything
What a
about it.
mess.
yeah, not a good movie, guys. I would not recommend The Evil Dead Trap 2. It
People
sucks.
are no good.
Why did you turn this into people are no good?
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Art
don't just say the movie's
that-
not good.
that- you know
It's a
what?
bad
You're
movie.
right. I'm sorry. The thematic elements of that movie make me have less faith in people that make movies.
And it was like 30 years ago.
That does make it better. I won't lie.
I don't even think the movie was trying to necessarily even do anything. I think really what they wanted to do is get a movie into the stores as soon as possible after The Evil Dead 2 came out.
I
I mean, obviously that's what it was going for.
It's like fuck. What's that one like Ants or whatever? The Bugs Life equivalent.
But didn't Ants come out before Bug's Life?
I think, but
Also, Ants it was not good, but it was not awful.
I think I like it better than Bug's Life. Because Bug's Life is kind
Really?
of, it's kind of a
I've never
non-movie
seen
to
it.
me. Like, I could not tell you any of the plot elements of Bug's Life other than Heimlich becomes a butterfly.
I mean to be fair,
I-
what else matters?
But I just remember in Ants there was like several like really fucked up war scenes with like anatomically accurate like termites,
There were those.
and
yeah.
like that's kind of cool.
I mean, that I don't know if I'm gonna call it cool, but
Hell yeah.
I will acknowledge it existed.
They straight up went to war.
I mean,
They did go
sorta
to war.
Go to war in Bug's Life.
Yeah, but it was more of like a we've got to defend the village from the locust or
More
whatever.
Westerny.
Whereas
kind
an
of thing.
Ants are like, we're gonna go destroy them because they're next door. And everyone's like,
Fair enough.
yeah. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I'm just saying, wow, that stuck with me as a kid.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what the hell, guys?
I never
DreamWorks.
saw it, so I would love to
I
have
would
an
recommend
input
it.
on this, but I just remember seeing all the things and being like, damn, sure looks like worse Bug's Life.
I would honestly like recommend it because it is genuinely nothing like Bug's Life.
Fair enough.
There's like ants that get melted by like termite acid. It's insane.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, there's
Amazing.
there are several brutal war scenes.
There are.
Like, I think the whole like
I also remember them sucking down some like
green juice.
yeah, and it turns out that the green juice gets pooped out by the aphids, and someone got grossed out. Who was there a human that got shrunk?
No, there's no human that got shrunk.
Then who was the bug that got grossed out by
So
that?
the main character, I believe his name, I don't remember his name, but he's just like the ant's main character, who was supposed to be a worker ant, ends up as a soldier ant for whatever reason, goes to battle, and everybody fucking dies except him, and they win the battle like because all the termites die too, and then he's just like, I survived, and then he becomes like a war hero, even though he didn't really do anything. He just like got crushed by a termite but didn't die. He was just like stuck the whole time. And then the whole ants colony is like, thank you, war hero. And then he has like he wants to date the princess, and he's got like some like Hulkamaniac friend. The queen's there.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
I won't lie to you. I kind of like that idea, but like it also sounds hellish to watch.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It looks nice though. It's not like a poorly made movie.
No.
It's no
still.
Evil Dead Trap 2.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
They sound like they're the same movie.
I would rather watch the Evil Dead Trap 2 any day of the week because it's a true
Fair
art
enough.
film, whereas Ants is not a true art film.
Ants is obviously made for children, so it can't be true art, as we all know.
Obviously.
Animated movies can't be artistic.
It's true. Not even Naruto.
It's true.
And
It's
it's true.
unfortunate, but it is true.
It's true. It's a heartbreaker. I wish Naruto was true art, but because it's animated, it'll never be art.
Maybe it's for the best. Who
You want
knows?
to talk about
Me too.
Naruto?
I've actually still never
God,
seen
I
Naruto.
fucking
Yeah,
love
I know nothing
Naruto.
about it.
Like as an adult, I'm still like, this show goes incredibly hard. It is just like a really, really good like series. There's just a lot of characters and all of them are very well developed. There's a lot of lore, a lot of fun, a good bit of laughs, a good bit of cries,
As
Yeah.
any good series.
as it should have.
Is Naruto one of the ones that has like
It's a Naruto.
You
what
may
did I
know
say?
him
Not. You
From-
said Naruto or something like that.
Yeah.
Naruto.
Don't disrespect my friend Naruto.
So yeah, the problem is there's 220 episodes of like the original one. and,
Dan, you
like,
sweet summer child. Guess how many episodes of Naruto there are before it spins off into the show about his son?
Shippuden.
Nope, that's just
that-
like the second part of regular Naruto.
It's just the second part of the background. Oh, I'm
Boruto
sorry.
is his son.
I was gonna
720.
say Boruto, which sounds like a Naruto ripoff.
There are 720
That's the one about
episodes
his
of
kid.
Naruto.
I apologize because the internet says 220 episodes.
There are 220 episodes of Naruto, and then about 500 episodes of Naruto Shippuden. And then it translates. It spins off into Boruto when Naruto's like an adult, and all his friends are adults, and his son is hanging out in the village hidden in the
Wow.
leaves.
Why old?
Well, I mean, honestly,
Wait,
though,
Naruto's still around and he's just not doing his job? Is that what you just said?
well, no, he's just his son is hanging out, having adventures.
Oh, okay.
Because he kind of like, spoiler alert, he's pretty strong by the end of Naruto Shippuden.
So they ran out
I
of
mean-
things to have him fight.
Well, no, they were just like, what if like we let him actually reach his dreams instead of making him like an Ash Ketchum where he's never actually gonna be the champion? They're like, hey,
You know what? I'm okay with that.
they're like, hey, what if we like, you know how in episode 1 he said he wanted to be the Hokage, and then every other episode for the last fucking 600 hours he said that? What if we just let him
Mhm.
do that?
What if he just became the very best, like no one ever was?
And then he's just like, it's really funny in Boruto though, because he's like a grown ass man, and they're like,
Mhm.
hey Naruto, thanks for being the strongest ninja. Now you can be the Hokage. He's like, wow, I've always wanted to do this. And they're like, now you have to do paperwork. And he's like, what if instead I created a clone of myself to sit at my desk all day and act like it's doing paperwork while I go and eat noodles? And they're like, actually, Naruto, please, you have to do your paperwork. And he's like, instead, I have created 6 clones to tackle you all so I can run away and not do paperwork.
I mean,
That's amazing.
mood on some level.
It is
but
just like
still,
it is just like usually Naruto move though, where it's just like, hey, all I've ever wanted to do is be the Hokage, and they're like, okay, you're the Hokage. Don't forget to do your paperwork. He's like, oh, being the Hokage fucking sucks. It's pretty good.
it sounds amazing.
I do love Naruto though. I could talk for 8 million years about it. All the great characters, all
Fair.
the fun times. But you know, you guys don't know anything about it, so we need to get a Naruto
yeah.
guest on here.
Who would we have as a? Do we have a Naruto? There's got to be somebody.
Is there another Naruto lore master in the podcast circle?
I don't know.
There's gotta be.
Let me ask. I'll just shoot out a quick message and say, hey, are there any Naruto lore masters here?
Which we're gonna put that under TV, animated movies. I see it's Noah is typing.
As it should be. In the meantime, guys, go check out the Discord. And if you are a Naruto lore master, you could be probably still not on an episode because this bit will run its course very quickly, and we will forget about it by next week.
True.
We
that's
probably
how it
won't
works.
because someone's gonna remind us and then bug us and be like, "I'm just saying."
We have to make sure that they're a true
You asked.
Mm.
Naruto lore master, though.
Speaking of
To vet
How do we
this.
test that?
things with intense characters and storytelling,
Yeah.
I picked up RDR2 last week.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do wanna shit on your opinion about this game because I've sunk an easy 80 hours plus into this game by now.
That's
And
it. I thought the main story alone was like 60.
in that case, I've sunk an easy 130 hours into this game by now.
Did you actually check, or are you just throwing numbers out?
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Red
check.
Dead 2's main story alone can take 40 to 60 hours to complete.
What do you be playing?
Okay,
it
yeah,
on?
no. Whew. PlayStation.
You should be able to check there.
Main story
Okay.
plus extras, not even completionist, averages like 80 hours.
Okay, so I have completed I have an 80% completed game and I have a 60% completed game. And then I have another game that I'm working on right now.
Fair enough.
So a lot of time has been put into this game. Hunting
enough.
takes up so much time, yo.
I do kind of get that feeling so far. Yeah, I have not gone on like a.
It's
hey, I'm gonna
also
go hunt
so
things.
worth it. It's so worth it.
Okay, you know what? Let's start. So let's start there then. I am not a fan of the fact that like to get any upgrade shit for your stuff, you have to go hunt something that's like what like the perfect quality or whatever. Generally,
Which is
It's
very,
generally
very
all-
easy to do
Monster
Which
Hunter.
once
is
you
very
get the
easy to
hang
do.
of it.
It's just annoying to have to then ride for 15 minutes all the way back to Bumblefuck, wherever either your camp or your trapper is.
See, that's the
to
problem
The
is
Tanner.
see, this is actually your fault though, because you haven't invested in the quick travel map yet.
I have
It costs
the
you
quick travel map.
600. Then you can quick travel with your animals on the car or on your horse.
Won't they? I thought they would decay.
No.
I mean, they do decay.
They do decay, but if you quick travel back to camp, because firstly, you don't need to bring back a full animal 90% of the time.
Yes, only for specific
Secondly,
events.
yeah, not for any of your like satchel upgrades. You just need furs for that.
Mhm.
But secondly, you can fast travel back to camp and it takes you 2 seconds and your animal will not decay.
That's good to know.
You kill the animal, you fast travel back immediately, you're fine. Even if you wait a little while, you're fine.
Wild. It's still a weird choice. You got to admit. Like I get that. So here's my thing with Red Dead.
Dan,
That's
I
okay.
have a
Here's
problem. No, that's not a real problem. Weird.
I mean it is a real problem at my stage of the game, but I accept that like there's ways to streamline the process.
Yeah, because there's actually, like I told you already, there's a gold bar that you can buy or that you
already.
can find and sell right outside your camp.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways to get money. I mean, it's very hard to get money at the beginning of the game, right? And you want to upgrade your weapons like right away because
I've been
you
told
need
that
to
as
not
soon as
have
you
a
hit chapter
cattleman
2,
revolver.
or chapter 3 rather, it
Oh
starts to
my
open up as
gosh,
far as
you
money.
get so much money. You get
Yeah.
so much money. And honestly, as long as you can find your first treasure map, because I'm pretty sure you find like
You find it
the
early,
Mexican
first one-
Explorer.
Yeah, the
right
first treasure
away.
map pretty damn early. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just follow all those treasures, you get loaded up right off the bat. That's what I did in my most recent playthrough, but I also already knew where 2 of the 3 treasures lived.
Fair
So
enough. So I have made it. I made it to chapter 3. I hit chapter 3. So that's
Mhm.
like 10, 15 hours, I feel like.
Yep.
And then I restarted because I was unaware that this game had a ton of missable content. And I am the kind of person where I'm going to play through this game one time and then never touch it again. Because that's the kind of person I am as far as video games. There are very few games that I've gone back to try and complete multiple times. Looking at you, fucking Spider-Man.
Look at you, Spider-Man. We could rule this thing
Look at you,
together.
Spider Kid. I have some minor beef with certain things that the game does. I think it does well. I think it does amazing. The music and like atmosphere and like all the feel of the game, a gift. Every moment is like, nah, I am cowboy, and I never am like, huh, that's weird. I'm not cowboy for a moment here. It's just cowboy. The like graphics are gorgeous, but that's kind of to be expected these days. The characters are all, if not necessarily great, like I don't love all the characters, they at least all have like distinct character traits and personalities, and they all feel distinct. I was never like, I don't remember which character this is.
yeah, no, all the character you run it, even some of the random people you run into are very distinct and memorable.
Mm-hmm. I hit so far I mean it's not really how old is this game? 6 years? 5 years?
1 year, not even.
Not
No,
even 2 years old.
No.
It's maybe 3 years old, dude.
Red Dead
No,
Redemption 2
it's-
is a year old, isn't it?
On PC. No, it's like it's not that. It's I know that's not true.
Dude, it was released in
Okay, 2 years old.
2018.
So it is 2 years
It's
old. Okay.
it just
I
had its
apologize.
2-year birthday.
I apologize. I knew PC. It had just gotten a year old. Like it
No,
had
this was
just hit.
Rockstar actually like lighting a fire under their ass and getting it out on time almost.
Well,
It was only a year and a half late.
Cries in Cyberpunk.
I knew that was coming.
I mean,
I
easy
actually
joke.
laughed out loud when I saw that it got delayed.
I mean, it sucks because I do know people.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
offhandedly mentioned to Nina that it was going to get delayed another like 3 months or something. And she's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. And she's like, no, we just got word that it is guaranteed for sure going to be out. We're setting up displays for it because she works at a used game store. And they were getting ready for it. And she's like, we got confirmation. It's definitely coming. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, more power to it, I guess.
The thing.
Nope.
The thing that bugs me about the only thing that bugs me about the delay is that they literally like less than 48 hours before they were like, hey, announcing a delay, they were like, hey, someone tweeted and was like, hey, I'm about to put in time for work, is this definitely coming out? And they're like 100% definitely coming out, and that's kind of shitty. Like
it is kind of shitty.
I get that it's not whoever the social media person, like they were working with the information they had, right? I would 100% that social media person 100% thought that he was telling the truth. I don't think they're bullshitting like that.
No.
And yet, it does really suck. I know a couple of people who either took time off work or were heavily planning on taking time off work to play it, which is fine. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about should you take time off work for a video game? And I'm like, I mean, if you have the spare hours, like
personally, no shame toward people that like to do that.
Yeah,
I would never do it because, in my opinion, it does not make sense.
Yeah, I would never do it. But if Noah was like, "Hey, I took time off work to play a video game," I would make fun of him. But like, if someone like on Twitter that I don't know said they do it, I'm like, all right, whatever. But like, yeah, if Noah said he'd do it, I'd be like, no, you idiot, you goober.
But, well, especially for like, I get it the most for a release date, right? Like in the same way that like, oh, I'm taking a day off work to go see the new Star Wars when it come out or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
or Cats.
Jackson took time off work to go see Cats. Same deal.
Shoot, I'd take weeks off to go see Cats.
I had to take a month off.
It's a whole process. So I get it. I don't know. I like trying to imagine justifying to myself, hey, I'm going to completely take at least 8 full hours, realistically more like 16 or 24 of my time as soon as this game comes out. I'm just going to dump hours into it. Is insane. Because how?
I'm not a gamer.
I'm not even a gamer.
I'm just like kind of not a gamer these days.
I mean, that's super valid though.
I'll play some League of Legends and Hades if I got nothing else going on.
Yeah, that's super valid. I want to try and I'm trying to pull myself a little bit back, especially because now we have the puppy, and start watching movies and like consuming media besides video games again. But shit's hard, yo. ADHD makes that shit real difficult. Anyway, Red Dead. Like a lot of things that Red Dead did. Red Dead did. I have 2 main gripes at this point.
And I'd like to hear them so I can tell you why you're wrong.
The first is that like it's more of a games in general thing, and I get that it's an RPG thing. I can't think of a game that does it in a really actually that's true. I can think of a game that does it. Very few games do it in my opinion in a really satisfying way. I hate there is good, there is evil, and there is no in between as far as the honor system works. I get that it's part of the aesthetic of the game, that it's a black and white, like black and gray morality. But I hate the idea that like, oh, if you like, I don't even have a great example because I can't okay, Pathfinder Kingmaker, right? Totally different game, totally different feel, whatever. Heavily relies on its alignment system for a lot of things, and it makes it feel like, hey, you having an alignment is actually like it is a little bit locking your character into a style, but it also kind of guides the world around you and like how you interact with things and whatnot. And it feels like in this game, there's no like I would love a lawful neutral, I guess would be the way to go with this. I think where I'm going with this is I would love a lawful neutral option for this game because I think you can be an honorable person and also like.
But here's the thing, right? Like you can do that.
You can, but the problem is that the game heavily at a certain point the game will start push, at least from what I was experiencing just in chapter 2. So super early in the game still. It felt like the game was really like you can either go do camp chores or you can kill a man, and there's no in between. Like
so
go ahead. I'm over exaggerating.
I never did camp chores for the entire first playthrough. I didn't even know it was an option.
No.
But I still was playing a net good playthrough. I missed a lot of content because there's a lot of things that you unlock by being a guy that does chores around the camp and helping.
Okay.
And there's also, in my most recent playthrough, I'm playing just a bad guy who has a turnaround about halfway through. And I missed a lot in the beginning of the game because of playing that way. But like, there's ways to play a neutral aligned character. You just don't get any rewards one way or another, which makes sense.
Which sort of makes sense.
You're neutral. You do
the-
nothing special. You get nothing special. You're a goody
Well-
two shoes. You get a special pistol handle. You're a bad man. You get a special pistol handle.
I get that, and I guess in Red Dead specifically, I haven't gotten deep enough to like see the consequences of the black and white morality. But in something like KOTOR, right, Old Knights of the Old Republic, it bugs me to no end that there's no. What if I'm just a relatively neutral guy? Like,
I mean,
Is
if I
a higher-
may, I think if
there
you're
are
just a
rewar-
relatively neutral guy, you're not going to be a Wild West outlaw. You don't
I
hear
don't
about many
know
like
if
that's the
cowboys who are
thing.
like, yeah, I'm a rootin' tootin' cowboy. But generally, I'm more of a centrist on most things.
well, but like if it's just a job, like I don't know, I can be like, hey, there's a woman here who needs help. I will help her because she will probably pay me, and also be like, yes, this person shot at me. I'm not going to capture them. I'm gonna shoot them back. Like I think there's a valid play of I am out here just doing my job. I'm not gonna go out of my way to be a bastard man, and I'm also like I'm not gonna go out of my way to kill people. And also, sometimes people just need a killing. And
So-
it is, I think, a little bit like it's hard for me to give great examples because again, I'm pretty still new in the game. It's just black and white morality bothers me in video games in general because
Well,
I
here's
think
the
that
thing.
it's-
Black and white morality is just how it is, though. Like here, let me talk for a second before you
Go for
interrupt
it.
me and say that's not how life is.
Go for it.
There is no reward in real life either for being a guy that just minds your business. Your reward is that you get left alone. Your reward is that you don't have the highs of being a bad guy and getting good things out of it, or the lows of being a bad guy and getting good things out of it, vice versa, good guy. You just coast. When you are in an outlaw gang, especially in this game, that's like the biggest, especially big giant asterisk. You are already bad guys. Your gray morality is being a good guy.
Fair enough.
You guys are already bad people. You're
That's
out
true.
here very wanted criminals. Being a good person doesn't matter how good a person you are. You're still like gonna get gunned down by every lawman that sees you in different story points just because, oh, y'all murdered a lot of people, you know?
killed so many people.
Yeah. I mean, you never hear the Blackwater Ferry story, but the bits that you get, it
It
wasn't
did not
good.
go well. Yeah.
No, like a lot of innocent people die. You're already bad aligned. That's your default state,
That's fair.
you know?
That's very fair. I get that, and while I don't agree with the if you're neutral you just coast through life and nothing happens, like I don't totally agree with that. I get what you mean, and I can see how it works as far as a like story. It's a convenient storytelling tool, right? Like
Mhm.
that's really what it is. It's a convenient storytelling tool of hey, do good things, this happens, do bad things, this happens. I just wish that games were more willing to let you ride that line in the middle, and it feels like very few games are.
I mean, KOTOR is an example of a game that lets you ride the line, though. It's just that you have to pick
It just
the
punishes
established
hell
good
out of you
guys.
for it.
Or, well, you don't get penalties for light or dark side, like force usage, though.
But you also just don't get access to half of them.
No, you get access
I
to
thought
it.
you just didn't get access to them. Am I missed?
No,
No,
you-
I'm pretty sure you did just don't get access to some things.
Some of the higher level ones, yeah, but like your base stuff, you just get to have the fun of not having negatives applied to you or positives. Whereas if you're a light side user, you get massive negatives when you use like lightning, for example. It's going to suck down your force bar 3 times as fast as it would if you were a dark side user.
Mm.
But at the end of the game, you're still going to have to pick whether you're going to be a good guy or a bad guy because those are the two sides that are clashing. You can't decide to kill all interested parties.
I just want to burn it all to the ground.
That's
I'm
the
just saying,
bad guy
Kylo-
option.
That's the bad guy
I'm
option.
just saying Kylo wasn't
Being-
wrong. Burn it all to
no.
the ground.
No. Being neutral doesn't mean you get to kill all sides of the conflict. Being
Damn it.
neutral means that you take the option that mediates the conflict.
That sounds fake. Mediation isn't real.
Neutrality doesn't really go hand in hand with destruction.
The game you want to play is you want to play The Witcher 1 because that one, when you pick the neutral path, you do just cut your way through almost everybody.
And I don't know. Like
if you can manage to play that game.
yeah. If I can suffer through that game. I don't know. I just am not a fan of black and white morality in video games. I think it's a cheap tool that doesn't really even begin to try and grasp like how people make choices and how people do things, in my opinion.
You know, a franchise that does really well with establishing initially a black and white morality, but slowly building it
Please tell
ripping
me
it
it's not
open.
Naruto.
It's Naruto, but slowly
I would
working
love
it
it
into
if
more
it's
of a
something
gray
like
zone over
Persona.
time as you understand that people have motivations for multiple reasons. It's Naruto.
Well, you know what? I accept that. I the longer a series or game goes on, the more obviously you kind of learn why people are the way they are. And to me, that's like the most interesting part of most stories is like the pieces that build people into what they actually like portray on screen or in context of whatever you're interacting with them. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's neat. So it's that, and then the other problem I'm having is that the game totally transitioning because I do agree that like there is a good reason for it, at least in the context of this game. That's fair. The game feels like the kind of game that if I'm going to play it, I need to sit down and dedicate like an hour minimum, right?
Yes,
To
you
the
do
game.
actually need to sink some time into it if you're going to play it.
I can't just like sit down and be like, I'm going to do a quick job and be done. I'm going to do a quick little side thing. I'm going to go on what, even going on like a single hunt would take half an hour, 45 minutes.
What?
Like, bad at the game, still new, still don't have access to all the fun stuff that you get to like help you get better at hunting. But my point is like the game feels like the kind of game where I just need to sit and play it for a long while to get the like I can't just sit down for like and have a 20-minute play session. Like that's just not how the game is built. And that's really difficult for me because I just don't have the time to sit down and play 6 hours at a time or 4 hours at a time or usually 2 hours at a time. Like I have too much going on. I can't usually do that. And so it's not hard. It's a little frustrating. And the game doesn't really because of the way like so the journal, right? There's a journal. The journal is not easy to parse through.
You don't have to read the journal.
It's from what I could tell, the easiest way to keep up to date on like where your progress is across like, oh, this is where my fucking this specific quest is, and this is what happened the last time I played and stuff like that.
No. What? Not no. The journal doesn't update quickly enough to be like a nice this is what's been happening kind of thing.
What is the other way then?
You just check the map and see your quest objectives.
That doesn't tell me any of the yes, it tells me what I'm doing. That doesn't tell me any of the context about like if I stepped away from Red Dead for a week and then came back to it, I would have no fucking clue what the hell was going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what the journal's for, kind of. But like,
and I just think that journal's hard to parse in that regard.
You just that's the issue is everything gets entered into the journal. You just flip through pages.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of direction to the journal.
Yeah, I do kind of like that it's just chronological, the journal. Like it's not. I think that's a neat way to do it. I just wish there was like almost an index, a content, something even on a meta level that you could just like, this is what the most recent story beat was. And I compared to Kingmaker again because again, that's just that's what I was playing before this, similar idea. But they have like, oh hey, here are the quests you've done so far, and here is like the in character this other character's writing a book journal thing.
So
and here's what happened.
I don't know what the button is on PC, but if you hold, what's the button that lets you bring up it's your journal button. If you tap the journal button, it'll bring up a different menu on PlayStation. So it's probably a different button entirely for you.
Yeah,
but for me, I hold the button and the journal comes up. But if I tap the button, it brings up my most recently completed missions and it lets me, and it lets me sling through my my challenges I have running. So I can just quick check the challenges.
Okay, let me find that then next time I play because that would be really
because that actually sounds like. Yeah, it sounds like exactly what you're after right
it's
there.
It's exactly what I'm after. Also, my only other third gripe is minor, and I get that some it's like, oh, but realism, like horses aren't that controllable. Horse controls sometimes just be wonky as shit.
Oh, no. Horse controls are sometimes really bad because sometimes you go up on like a rock and there's a 6-inch drop on the other side and your horse is just like, oh, fuck this.
Falls and breaks its fucking legs.
No, but he like won't move forward and it's just like, just step forward. Just step forward and he won't.
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm not going to lie to you. That does suck. And you do get to a point where you just got to start carrying around. What's your limit right now? Like 3 horse tonics?
Yeah,
you need to upgrade the tonic satchels so that you can carry around like 20 of those bad boys, especially if you're playing a bad guy. Because until you get some heavy weaponry, you're going to keep killing your horse, especially when you're running away from people. Your horse will die and then you will die and it sucks.
If you die and then your horse dies, is it reload a save with your horse still alive or just your horse is gone?
Nope, you get a new horse. It is a new shitty default horse that barely qualifies as being a horse.
It's more of a donkey.
Yeah, it's not great,
fair enough.
But it exists.
So far in the game, I've not
the Tennessee Saddlebred. It's orange red. It's like a burnt red.
So far in the game, I have not lost a horse.
What? I'm impressed. That's actually an achievement.
I had
killed
2 trip and fall, and then I res them, but like I have not lost a horse. Not even come close. Actually, my horse rarely takes damage.
My first horse died when it let me run full speed off of a cliff, and then we both died at the same time, and I lost my horse.
That'll do it.
It was my favorite horse. It had a
Jump off the
mohawk.
side. I had a horse. My first horse had a neat patterning down her neck, and it made it look like she had a skull head. Like she had like almost a skull pattern on her head and like a skeletal pattern down her neck. It was very neat.
That is a collectible horse, and I cannot believe that you didn't keep it.
I mean, it was pretty dope, and it is the one thing that I miss about my last run. But also, it's fine. I'll find a new horse.
Whatever.
Neat game.
Whatever.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. The pacing is a little weird. That would be my like a minor like story beat complaint. It's no spoilers. Something happens in chapter 2, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta get out of here, right?
We got a Red Dead Redemption 2.
We sure have a Red Dead Redemption 2 on our hands, boys." And they kind of build it up, but it builds up both way too slow and way too quickly, depending on how much you're focusing on like doing story objectives. Like if you're doing story objectives, it's like it goes from 0 to 100 in literally 3 missions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are playing side objectives, it goes from 0 to 100 in like a month.
So that's the problem, right? Like you're not really, if you play through just the story missions, I'm pretty sure that is the way that you're like quote unquote supposed to experience the game, because the whole game, like for the most part, takes place over just like a couple months. If you're playing it that way, you can do like camp side missions here and there, little things. But for the most part, and you'll notice this if you're away from camp too long, Dutch sends people to find you.
Amazing.
And they're just like, "Hey, Arthur, Dutch was looking for you. You want to come back with me?" And you can either ride back to camp where like it's heavily implied you're supposed to do a story mission.
Yeah.
Or what. And like if Dutch is your next mission, obviously he's going to have like a vocal cue that's like, "Oh, hey, Arthur," every time you like walk by.
Yeah.
But if he's not yours, and anyone else in the camp who's not a mission queue will be like, "Wow, Arthur, it's been a while since you've been here. It's like you don't even care about the camp, Arthur." Like I'll be out for months at a time, right? And every time I'm back in camp, I'll donate food and I'll drop some money. But because I've stalled the story, they're going to be like, "You got to contribute and help the camp too, right?"
That's really funny. That's really,
it's a great time.
Funny.
But
I do
yeah,
like there's a lot of like little interactables, little moments like that I like a lot. It's good. I like that bit. All right, I'm willing to move on from Red Dead. I feel like I've been talking about it for like 40 minutes. I apologize.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm okay with moving on from it too. I really enjoy the game, and I think it's very worth watching.
I mean, it's got nothing next to
watching or
Naruto,
playing,
but
whatever.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah, it is no Naruto. I will give it that.
It's definitely no Naruto.
It doesn't hold a candle to Naruto in very many areas, honestly.
Yeah,
it's not
like,
as long as
less
Naruto.
anime.
Yeah, the redemption arc is pretty great, though.
Honestly, there's some pretty good redemption arcs in Naruto. And Sasuke doesn't have one of them. Don't stop typing. Don't quit typing.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything about Sasuke.
All
I
the
gotta be
Sasuke
honest, dude.
stands in the podcast Discord are typing right now. I'm telling you,
True.
to stop.
Probably.
So I just opened Twitter and found out that Edward Snowden is having a kid.
Cool.
And that's not forcing literally, but heavily encouraging him and his wife to try and get dual U.S. Russia citizenship, which is, I mean, good for them first of all, but also I don't know.
They're gonna have the baby here.
Because
good luck.
Yeah, exactly. They can't come back.
That's a challenge run, yeah.
And with my understanding of how that would work is that because he's like living in a U.S. embassy, or no, he's not. He's outside the U.S. embassy. He's on fully Russian soil. The kid would get Russian citizenship is kind of what I understood based on the way they said that.
That is how that stuff works. Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, totally makes sense that with that in mind, he has a very, very good reason to try and get Russian citizenship because now their child's going to be a Russian citizen and not a U.S. citizen, which is very sad, but also might be for the best right now. Everything is terrible. We're all burning. Everything's going to die. Well, actually, by the time this episode comes out, everything will either be burnt or not. So that'll be cool. We're not going to talk about that, but boy, hope everything doesn't die.
You gotta stop directing podcasts this way, dude.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
You don't let that be vocalized. You gotta not vocalize. That's like the secret. Like for, a long time I'd always be like, I fucking suck. And then I was like, man, I don't want to think that I fucking suck anymore. And not that I don't anymore, but I make a point of not vocalizing those things that I don't want to be. Because it really helps. And, stop saying everyone's terrible. Well, I mean, yeah, that's why we always ask you not to do it.
Fair enough. I apologize.
Okay,
Cut all that. No,
it just
get it
bums
out of
me
here.
out. Just want to talk about Naruto, and Jimmy Brew, who was actually just Drake.
Yeah. So
What?
for whatever
Look at the
reason,
host
Jimmy
chat.
Brooks from Red Dead 2, his photo, if you look up Red Dead characters, is just Drake.
Wait, is that like from today?
Huh.
Is
And
this
I don't-
from recent?
Yeah, no, I just found that. I don't know, and I don't even think that's really that looks like a touched up picture of Drake at that.
It didn't show up for me, but I'm also like I'm on PC, so it probably isn't
So-
just like showing me. It's not showing me the list.
So Google, let's see, Bill Williamson, Red Dead 2. No, wait, no, that didn't work. Wait, who did I look up that I just found it last time?
Oh god.
Well, now I wonder. Shoot, I lost it.
There's actually so many characters here though.
No,
Alright,
yeah, there's a lot
I
of
clicked
Red
on
Dead
Jimmy
characters.
Brooks. There's not an image of Drake. Affiliations? Strange man, possibly.
Let's see. Yeah, no, if you just search
call
RDR2
him.
characters, there he is. Also, yeah, he's possibly connected to one of the... Wow, there's just a bunch of pictures of Drake in a wheelchair. All the pictures, there's no picture of Jimmy Brooks. It's just a bunch of pictures of Drake and another black guy who named Jimmy Brooks. Okay, so here's the confusion.
Okay.
Here's the problem. There's Jimmy Brooks from Red Dead, but then Jimmy Brooks is clearly something or someone like in a show who is that actually Drake?
Yeah, Drake from when he was on Degrassi.
Okay, yeah. So was that his character's name apparently? Yeah.
What are
So
the
when he was on
odds?
Degrassi, he was Jimmy Brooks, and then there's Jimmy Brooks from Red Dead. Interesting. I just feel like Google knows so much stuff, right? And you would think that Google would be able to distinguish when you're looking up Red Dead, Jimmy Brooks, to not sort Jimmy Brooks from Degrassi.
Yeah, it's your loss, really. Google knows what's good for you.
Because even if I'm searching Jimmy Brooks in relation to Red Dead, it shows Jimmy Brooks Degrassi first.
As you should.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
But you kind of
Anyway,
forget
though.
that he was just on Degrassi like for a long, long time. Like it's just it's just kind of weird. Like
I
Drake.
can comfortably say I know literally nothing about that show.
I actually don't know anything about it either, if we're
It's
being
like
honest.
a Canadian TV show where it's just like, hey, a whole bunch of high school kids up to no
Oh.
good.
That reminds me, Canada. I was talking with some coworkers the other day, and this dude literally just made the most dated reference ever. Now, this guy, he's like my age, right?
So basically, been
So
around since the
500.
dinosaurs,
Am
Yes.
I right, everybody? Am I right, podcast listeners?
Glad that Jackson and I were on the same page for that. That was pretty good.
But unironically, he's like in his mid-20s. You know, he's not that old, and he
Whatever, tell
is
yourself
someone
now.
who. Okay, fine. Whatever. Let me focus on the story. All right. So he's not that old. He should be up to date on things and things like that, right? This man, we were talking about Canada, and he was just like, anytime I want to make the Canadians mad, I just say, oh yeah, thanks for giving us Justin Bieber, you know, because there's nothing that'll get them more than, you know, just like, hey, you know, you made Justin Bieber. And I'm like,
Yikes.
dude, you're making a Justin Bieber joke in 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Like, why? And then we just talked about Justin Bieber for a few minutes, and the fact that no one there knew anything about Justin Bieber, like for the last, unironically, the last like 6 years, not a single new thing about them. He's been doing
he does
things.
Stuff. Not to be that guy, but like ever since he pulled away from like I am only appealing to teenage girls aesthetic, his music it's not terrible. Like I
It's
don't
not-
love it
yeah,
or anything, but
it's-
it's not terrible.
I really
was-
like Love Yourself, except it's way overplayed.
Well, yeah, of course.
I don't really care for a lot of his other stuff, but I did make this call a few years ago that I was like, you know what? After I heard, geez, I don't remember what it was. It was his new album at the time, like back in 2016 area. I remember saying, you know what? I don't really care for this that much now, but you give him like 2 more albums, I don't know, like another 8 years, something like that. I'm sure he's going to be making music that I could really get into.
Yeah, 100%.
And his most recent album isn't that great for me,
Damn.
but you know, like it's getting there.
yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, because he is I almost said Jimmy Buffett.
yes.
Because he's Jimmy Buffett. Everyone knows.
You know, because he's Jimmy Buffett, I'm gonna get used to it. No, I literally have no idea what I was trying to say with that.
I don't either, but I'm here for it.
But yeah, because he's Justin Bieber is not enough of a reason for me to decide to never listen to him again. There's some people that's enough of a reason.
Yeah, they like really hate him. Still.
Justin Bieber's not one of them though.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird that people are like, yeah, I fucking hate Justin Bieber. You're like, it's 2020 and you're like in your mid You're like an adult, man.
Yeah.
Those
No,
are, like,
that's
hats
that's
to
that's the thing
say.
that gets me.
Why are you mad at Justin Bieber as an adult dog?
Yeah, I can back that because like there are plenty of musicians that like are much, in my opinion, much better targets to be hated than of all people.
Yeah. I
A
mean,
man
honestly,
who has
like,
been
I
out of like,
just get frustrated whenever I'm dealing with people who are like fully grown, adults, and they're
Mhm.
like getting genuinely angry at people for like media property related things. You're like, brother, you're like 36, man. You
yeah,
have to like
have better priorities.
you gotta like I don't know. You could run for like mayor or something. Don't do this with your time. Not that you should run for mayor, but like, dog, why are you mad at the K-pop people on Twitter? Just let them be.
Yeah,
Why are you personally attacking them? Sure, you can dunk on them. That can be funny.
yeah,
But like,
Yeah.
why is your identity being mean to children? Please
yeah.
stop. You gotta pay taxes or something. I've had to
Yeah.
deal with that a lot lately.
I
just-
no, I get that.
Because there's so many things that are worth being mad about, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. There are
And
so many people who have done
jellyfish
that
are
things
real.
you should be angry about.
But like, that's not one of them.
No, there are better things to be annoyed about.
Annoyed, fine. I don't like K-pop Twitter that much either. But I'm not
Fair.
gonna like make it my personality to like seek out and destroy all lovers of K-pop.
Yeah,
Mhm,
Like,
there's
mhm.
no point.
But sure, I don't like it. It annoys me. I get it. Maybe you make a little quip about it and call it a day. But like, I've been dealing with a lot of like grown ass adults who are like genuinely angry about small subgroups of people, and I don't want to go into it. But like, yeah, basically, it's frustrating. You're an adult. Please
Mhm.
act like it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? They would have to act like an adult, and
Sure.
that's
And I mean,
hard.
I'll talk to you about Naruto for 40 minutes straight.
Yeah, dude, and you should. If you're
Don't
if
get
you
it
aren't,
twisted.
Like,
I will
it's 'cause
tell you
don't
all
really
about
care.
Shikamaru, but
Yeah.
I also know when to not do that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where some people hit this point of it almost feels like a media illiteracy type of situation.
Mhm.
But I guess it's just like social awareness, maybe,
Mhm.
where like people hit a certain age where they just decide that they're not going to pay attention to anything new that happens. And I think that there is an age when that's okay to have happen, right? Like
Well,
yeah,
to a point
17.
type of thing.
to a point, yeah.
Because I think if you're like 65 years old,
17.
I think it is, or if you're 17 years
Okay, thank
old,
you.
I think it is reasonably reasonable for you to be like, yeah, you know what? I've done a lot in my life. I'm retiring. I'm done. And you just kind of tap out of a lot of things. I think that there is a certain amount of that can be okay.
I agree.
And that is, there's a difference between like totally unplugging and actually becoming actively harmful with ignorance. And
I was just about to
just
say,
being like,
because that is a dangerous slope,
Yeah.
in my
'Cause
opinion.
there's a
no.
difference between me
definitely
not
get what you're
knowing
going
who
for,
there's
Dua Lipa
there's
was.
a difference between I don't want to have to learn how to use a new smartphone
Mm.
and I want to actively harm young people
Yeah.
with my ignorance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's
like,
the
difference.
line. And
'Cause,
it's
I
like
learned
pop
who Dua
culture
Lipa
hits
was last month.
even sooner.
But like,
No.
I also understand social change is larger than media change, and so it's okay to tap out of media, but you shouldn't necessarily tap out of social changes.
Mhm.
So those are big.
Those do be out here being big, though. Yeah, I would agree, and I think that unfortunately the two tend to go in hand in hand. Not always, not necessarily, and I don't think that they do at all age brackets, but it definitely feels like, especially as people get older, they tap out of both at the same time.
I just can't believe you had someone who is like your age, so obviously like 9,000 years old,
Yeah.
dunking
Making
on
Justin
Justin
Bieber
Bieber and
Yeah,
Canada.
of all people.
Like being like, oh, Canada, Justin Bieber, they gave us that, haha.
Yeah,
What?
not gonna lie, even like dunking on Canada is like very like
No, yeah,
90s.
dunking on Canada was very weird, and that was not where I had intended that conversation to go.
Yeah, we don't want to be
Yeah, no, of
shitty to
course not.
Canadians. Wait, why do you want to be
And-
shitty to Canadians?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
have they
because
done?
I wanted to just be like, hey, Canada, am I right? But then they wanted to turn into a thing. No, but like, I think I was just talking about a friend of mine in Canada, and this guy came in out of nowhere, and he's like, oh, anytime I want to be mean to Canadians, I just remind them that they gave us Justin Bieber. It was that much of a non sequitur to the conversation. It's just like, dude.
Yeah, it's
I
what
don't know.
is the point of you doing that? Like, what are you?
Yeah. And there is no point, and there will never be a point to rudely interrupting a conversation to make like at this point, let's be real, that the joke is already 6 years out of date.
Yeah,
Easily. If
I
not
would-
more.
I would never interrupt someone to make a bad joke.
Well, no, but there's different types of bad jokes.
I
There's
know.
bad jokes
There's
where
like what
it's
I do,
like,
and then there's what you do, and those are not the same thing. obviously mine are harmful to everyone
Exactly.
involved.
Yeah, Dan's out here and he's just like, yeah, Justin Bieber, am I right?
And I'm out here with the true comedy. I say, you guys hear about actually, you know what, guys?
Naruto?
You want to hear a good joke? Want to hear actually one of my new favorite bits?
What do you got?
Oh, I
What
would
do you
like
got?
to hear
Alright,
it.
alright.
Yeah, let's hear this new
alright.
joke.
All right, everybody, buckle down, everybody. All right. Do you guys want to hear my impression of Jerry Seinfeld? But he's doing an
Okay.
impression of me.
Okay.
What do you think?
Pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. And the best thing about the bit is you never know when it's over. I could be doing
Jerry?
it next week.
You could be doing it right now.
Could be.
Wild.
See, honestly, I didn't expect Jerry Seinfeld to be that talented, but he's
He
doing
does a
great.
pretty good impression of me.
I
At
do.
least my
I
impression of
fucking
his
do that
impression
talented.
of me is pretty good.
I'm always disappointed, but I do expect.
Thank you, everybody.
You're always disappointed in Jerry Seinfeld? I mean, same, but like,
Come on,
it is
guys.
what it is.
Leave me
It's me,
alone.
Jackson. What is the deal with podcast food?
No.
Here we go. Are we done?
I like it. What
I
is
mean, I
the deal
guess-
with podcast food? Actually, Noah, what's a podcast food?
For me, podcast food is I have a sub next to me and an empty gin and tonic. So I guess that's podcast food today.
I mean, that is.
You know
kind
what?
of
Honestly,
podcast
I'll
food, to be
level
fair.
with you. What is the deal with podcast food then, Noah?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know if I want to know.
I have a sub and some gin. Yeah, I'll ask what the deal with that is.
It's a Wegmans sub though. I'm pretty happy with
Okay,
it.
okay.
Wegmans makes pretty good subs.
They do.
Actually, speaking here, Noah's fast food sub corner back at it again, or gas station sub corner, I guess I should say, because that's like I consider to be my local expertise.
Dan, are you hearing this too? Like, are we in the
I'm
sling?
letting it go, dude.
Okay.
I'm
All right. You know what? Okay.
I wanna
So
see where he's
Country
going with
Fair.
this.
Country Fair was, as far as gas station subs go, has been my favorite for a while. And then Get Go came around, and I've decided that Get Go is the best gas station sub. Sheetz subs, don't talk to me. Sheetz subs are ass, and I don't have any Wawa near me, so they don't get ranked into the equation, but their subs are also pretty good. Okay? But Get Go subs had trashed Country Fair for a while now. I recently got a sub at Country Fair again, and they have new bread, which is very good. It actually tastes like pretty fresh. Like they had clearly been making it there before, but now it tastes like they've been making it there and less like it was being heated up there. Even though I literally watched them proving uncooked loaves. So I don't understand. But anyway, their bread is better. Their sandwiches are all like tightened up, like ingredient wise, everything's like better. I don't know. Their subs have gotten a lot better recently. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. And they got bigger too.
That's good. Also, it's very regional, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
extremely regional and not relevant to anyone.
except
Country
me.
Fair subs are relevant to a decent number of people.
So
Yeah.
Noah, have you ever had a burrito from Sheetz?
I have. Those things are kind of scary to
They'll
eat.
kill ya.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Sheetz
Like-
burrito is like one of the most dangerous foods alive. It's like a $5 burrito, but it weighs like 3 pounds.
Yeah.
And it
Like
sits
you
like a
thought
brick
that
in
the
your
home
stomach for
wrecker from
days.
Moe's was big. This thing is bigger than that.
And it'll sit in your
And-
stomach for 4 days straight.
See, and more importantly, it has like 3 cups of rice in it, right?
Oh, so much
But
rice.
then if you get the right one, after your burrito's done, then they coat it in liquid cheese and they wrap another tortilla around it. So you have
it's
your
true.
and it's just like it's such a heavy burrito.
Such a heavy burrito. And it's so cheap, but like it will destroy your insides.
Yeah, like
I had
people make
one-
jokes about like Taco Bell. That's never hit me at all. Like,
like a
a
Sheetz burrito.
5-pound burrito from Sheetz.
I had a Sheetz burrito last night, and between the time I went to bed and woke up, I woke up 6 different times because my body needed water. 6 times. I drank 6 glasses of water.
Because of all the rice in there and everything like that.
It's something like the Sheetz burrito just took all the liquid out of my body and just I don't know where it went. It just threw it out.
That's insane. That's such a bad time.
6 cups of water, and I had already drank water that day. I was already hydrated.
That's freaking miserable.
There's so much salt and cheese and just matter in the Sheetz burrito that it'll take all the liquid out of your system. You have to put more in. I don't know where it all goes, you know? That's the Sheetz burrito for you. Don't ever get one. Unless...
It's an experience. I don't know. I almost want to say go ahead and try it once.
Good value, good value.
You can't beat the value.
Can't beat the
Honestly,
value.
what's kind of nice is if you get one and you split it with a friend of yours, so you like have half a burrito and then one of their sides.
And you both suck together.
But like their sides that are good are all fried, so like maybe don't do that.
Yeah, do you want to eat like fried mozzarella sticks and a Sheetz burrito? I mean, I do, but it'll kill you.
I do too, but like I don't.
God, I love monster.
I
Raptors.
want to, but like there's that part of my mind that's like, no.
Well, I suppose that's an episode for the day, huh?
I think that's a good place to end.
Dan's like, what the hell happened? At first, I was laughing at the fast food sub bit, and I was like, you know what? I'll get in on this.
I was over here like, man, Noah's just out here going off about his subs, and then Jackson joined in, and I'm like, huh.
I was like, Sheets burrito.
A turn.
You can't leave him hanging out there. I mean, I try and back up Noah, however hard it may be sometimes. Is that even legal?
I actually had my brother roasting me for that last night. He helped me move.
Good.
And
good.
Yeah, it's valid. I don't know.
I tried.
I guess this is where I plug my socials, right? And just like bulldoze into the end.
Yeah, talk about where can they find Noah? Where can they find the podcast if for some reason they want to listen after this episode?
Facebook.com/OTA podcast, Twitter at the Off the Air, and Patreon.com/Off the Air. You go to Patreon, you get shout outs like Bo, Edge, and Michael. They get shout outs. If you want to call us out, though, like Sam, Emma, and Cloud, and Hi. I think that's. Oh, wait. Is that all? I actually did this off the top of my head. I got to double check to make sure everyone's in the right tiers.
No.
I think.
Wow.
Jackson, I feel like I should just take over worrying about the patrons every month. What do you think?
You definitely shouldn't. Like Cloud, Sam, and Dave.
What do I think?
Not
Yeah,
Dave. Dave
Cloud,
doesn't. Why did I even say Dave?
Cloud, Sam,
I'm going to reach.
Emma, and Hi.
Not Emma.
You're right, not Emma. I apologize.
I know what I'm talking about.
Well, honestly, it might be Emma still. It just hasn't.
I don't know.
It's the first of the month, so it may not have ticked over properly yet.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're not doing this. We have nothing for this week anyway, I assume.
If you want to support us in a non-financial manner that is just as helpful, tell your friends and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, if you give us a review, it really helps us like a lot. Yeah, you can find me as Bubba the Bad, BUBBADABAD, Twitch, Twitter, and Insta. I'm streaming on Tuesday. I'm streaming on Thursday. Maybe I'm going to start sneaking in a Saturday afternoon stream. Probably not. I'm digging the freedom on that day. So, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are sticking around. So, that's the dealio.
And this will be out by the time this comes out. I will be. It will already be halfway through the week, but I'm canceling pretty much everything for this coming week because we have a puppy and I have to take care of a puppy. Or at the very least, get my office to the point where I can have the puppy in here while I'm streaming and not have everything fall apart. I'm also canceling all of Noah's streams.
You're canceling my streams for me? Like I'm not allowed to stream anymore?
Yeah, no, you got to come over and help me with the puppy. Obviously, you weren't listening.
Oh, damn.
What
Jackson, do you have anything to say about that?
Hey, where's the freaking gabagoo?
You know, hey. I don't remember what was said earlier, but I wanted to make that reference. I just didn't.
I'm kidding. I don't have to put up with this. You can find me at twitter.com/BornRule57 and on Twitch, twitch.tv/BornRule. You can find Jackson wherever Jackson books are sold.